up! Let's talk comedy, the thing that's supposed to unite us, make us laugh, help us forget our problems. But what happens when the funniest people alive stop laughing with each other? I'm talking about a real feud. Katt Williams versus Steve Harvey. Two titans, two philosophies, one crown. In this business, there's a thin line between rivalry and war, and these two crossed it. We're talking joke theft, accusations, and a fight for the King of Comedy title. A title that means respect and legacy. This isn't just about punchlines, it's about who's real, who's playing a role, and the soul of comedy itself. Let's break down the timeline and count the moments that expose the ugly truth behind this iconic clash. Number 10, Steve Harvey, TV shows, Suits, the face of family-friendly comedy. He's the king, right? Not so fast. From the shadows, Katt Williams emerges. No suit, just a perm, a pimp cup, and a mic full of unfiltered truth. Katt looks at Steve and doesn't see a king. He sees a character, an actor, a brand. He called him the pimp in a suit, someone selling a fantasy, pimping comedy itself. Katt accused Steve of selling a watered-down, corporate-approved version of black comedy. To Katt, Steve was a puppet, Hollywood pulling the strings. Katt questioned Steve's authenticity, his right to the crown. He drew a line on one side, the polished Steve Harvey, on the other, the raw Katt Williams. With that pimp in a suit line, the battle lines were drawn. Katt wasn't just coming for Steve's spot, he was coming for his soul. He challenged what a king of comedy should be, the richest or the realest. The first shot was fired, and Hollywood heard it. Number 9. The trash talk was loud, so what next? Put them on the same stage, same night. This was a comedy heavyweight title fight. Phillips Arena, Atlanta, 2008. Katt didn't just accept, he declared war. He promised to retire Steve Harvey on stage. This wasn't a rap battle, this was stand-up. Funnier, sharper, more dominant, right in your rival's face. The arena was electric, divided half for Steve's smooth humor, half for Katt's wild energy. Promoters sold a clash of titans, and everyone wanted to see who'd be left standing. Katt hit the stage, chaos, fire, and direct shots at Steve. He reminded the crowd of his promise. This wasn't just a show, it was a public execution. Steve, the veteran, did his set. Cool, professional, but the drama was already set. The night belonged to Katt's narrative. Who won? Still debated, but Katt turned a comedy show into a legendary battle. He proved he'd step into the ring, face the king, and fight for the crown. Number 8. Now, the dirtiest accusation in comedy: stealing jokes. In comedy, that's the ultimate sin. Katt Williams pointed at Steve Harvey and called him a serial joke thief. He claimed Steve stole his onstage persona from Mark Curry, star of Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. Katt said Steve built his foundation on stolen property. This wasn't just about being a puppet, this was about integrity. Katt positioned himself as the guardian of comedy, speaking for the little guy. He accused Steve of preying on comics without a platform, taking their best material. Katt said Steve's success was illegitimate, a castle built with stolen bricks. This wasn't just personal, it was a moral crusade. In comedy, being called a joke thief is the deepest cut. Katt aimed for the jugular, trying to dismantle Steve's reputation. He told the world the king had no clothes, and the ones he wore were stolen. Number 7. How does the king respond to being called a fraud? At first, Steve Harvey played it cool. He took the high road, gave dismissive answers, acted unbothered. He starved the story, acting like Katt was just noise. He framed it as a generational thing. He's the mature adult, Katt's the angry kid. Steve's star kept rising, hosting, selling books, building his empire. He killed Katt with success, ignoring the drama. But you can only take so many shots before you fire back. Steve stopped brushing it off. He used his radio show to send a message. He didn't say Katt's name, but everyone knew. He called Katt a clown, reducing all the anger and truth-telling to a circus act. Steve said, "We are not the same." The gloves were off. Steve Harvey had finally entered the fight. Number 6. Katt took the fight deeper, beyond jokes to the system itself. He claimed Steve Harvey wasn't the best. He was chosen by Hollywood's gatekeepers. Steve's comedy was safe, clean, and didn't challenge the status quo. Katt argued Steve was the acceptable face of black comedy for the mainstream. Katt framed the conflict as a battle for the soul of black culture. He said, "I'm the voice of the people, Steve is what they want us to be." Katt tapped into frustration about representation in the black community. He accused Steve of being a cultural sellout. They want a puppet they can control, and they found one in Steve Harvey. This explained their different career paths. Steve, the industry's favorite; Katt, the outlaw. Katt wasn't just fighting Steve, he was fighting the Hollywood establishment. It was authenticity versus assimilation. Number 5. The King of Comedy title isn't just a nickname, it's a legacy. The original Kings of Comedy tour proved black comedy could sell out arenas. Katt looked at that legacy and said, "That was then, this is now." He believed the original kings went corporate and the throne was vacant. Katt saw himself as the rightful heir, pushing boundaries, connecting with the people. He declared the crown was his, earned through blood, sweat, and punchlines. He claimed his kingship was organic, built from the ground up. He contrasted this with Steve, who he said was handed the title. Katt challenged Steve's authority and place in comedy history. He said the old guard was finished, a new king had arrived. Katt believed his influence and impact made him more relevant than Steve. Steve's defense? His resume, sold-out tours, decades in the business TV empire. But Katt argued, success isn't kingship, a king must have the people's heart. Katt was convinced he had their hearts. Steve only had their eyeballs. Number 4. When beef gets real, the rules disappear. Katt used his stand-up to dig into Steve Harvey's personal life. Marriages, divorces, scandals. These weren't just jokes, they were character assassinations. Katt tried to show the wholesome Steve Harvey was a fabrication. There's an unwritten rule, families are off limits. Katt didn't care. He said, "If you sell life advice, your own life is fair game." Katt wanted to prove Steve was a hypocrite, dismantling the brand by attacking the man. For Katt's fans, it was proof he was brave enough to say what others wouldn't. Number 3. You can only poke a bear so many times before it mauls you. The shots at Steve's family? That was the last straw. Steve used his national radio show as his weapon. He spoke with a cold, serious tone. No jokes, just warning. He reminded everyone, before the suits, he was from the streets of Cleveland. "Talk about my career, fine, but don't disrespect my family." It was a direct threat. This beef could spill into real life. The king showed he still had teeth. Steve dropped the corporate mask and let his street side show. He said, "Don't mistake my success for softness." The message was clear. Tread carefully. You're messing with the wrong one. Number 2. The battlefield shifted, no longer on stage but in public opinion and courtrooms. Steve Harvey's star kept rising. Family Feud, best-selling books, TV shows. He became the definition of mainstream success. Meanwhile, Katt's career was a roller coaster, selling out arenas but making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Arrests, lawsuits, erratic behavior. Katt's reputation took a hit. Critics painted him as unstable, his own worst enemy. Steve, by staying out of trouble, looked like the winner by default. Katt's legal troubles did more damage than Steve ever could. Steve was the model of stability. Katt, the embodiment of chaos. The public saw Steve as the winner. Money, fame, clean record. The system Katt fought against rewarded Steve and punished him. Number 1. Steve has the empire. By all metrics, he won. The beef should be over, right? Not for Katt Williams. Years later, on Club Shay Shay, Katt reignited the feud, defiant, unapologetic. He said, "Steve might have the money, but I have the truth." He doubled down on every accusation, joke stealing, being a puppet, lack of authenticity. He declared he'd never bow to Steve Harvey, never bend the knee. Bowing would mean admitting defeat to the system he's fought his whole career. Katt would rather be a king in rags with integrity than a wealthy puppet. Steve has financial wealth. Katt claims cultural and spiritual wealth. He positioned himself as a martyr for realness, sacrificing mainstream success for principles. The war isn't over for Katt, it's eternal. So what's this beef really about? Not just egos, it's a battle for the soul of comedy. It's about two paths to the top and what you're willing to sacrifice. On one side, Katt Williams, the voice of the people, the renegade who values integrity over paychecks. On the other, Steve Harvey, the master of the mainstream, the man who played the game and won. One has the loyalty of the streets, the other the support of the industry. Who's right? Is the real king the truth teller or the empire builder? At the end of the day, it's not just comedy, it's legacy. Whose side are you on?